The same way it will store clothes, cap, chair, table, protein, and sport, housing, sport, and revenue values. And when you go for here, compression technique will happen. That means what it will do is whatever the repeated figures are there, that will summarize. So if you can see in the first stage, like I have the 3 sports and 2 housings. But whereas after the compression, you can see only 1 time sport and 1 time housing. And this is indexing. So this indexing means it will maintain in the sorting order. Okay, so these all things can be done in the back end of the HANA database. We are not doing anything, just we try to understand how the data will be stored in the database level. So this is the some of the key differences. Like memory usage is higher in the row store, whereas in the column store it is low because of the compression. Because if you imagine you have the 1 million of data is there, once it is compressed, like maybe it is coming as a 9 lakhs at 5, 6, 7 lakhs. So that means you have the lesser records compared to row store values. So, and coming to the transactions, you can post the records, you can save the data in a faster way in the row store, and whereas in the column store it is very slow because there is a modification is required. That means what is the modification here is, since HANA is a column store, what it will do is it has to perform the compression and indexing whenever you try to load the data. That means suppose you are going to add a sport, now again you want to add a housing, then I have to disturb again the second stage as well as the third stage. Reason it will taking longer time when you we do the transactions into column store. And analytics, since it is data is already compressed and the indexing is already created, that analytics will be very faster into the column store. And SAP HANA has in-memory capabilities, which has the both hardware and software components. It has, in coming to the hardware components, we have the multi-core architecture where you can connect with the n number of sources and massive parallel process. That means you can run the n number of jobs into HANA database at a time. And it is a 64-bit address, which is a hardware component. And it is throughout the system, you can access the 100 GB data. And now, if you can see that in previously we discussed, the HANA database is extended. Database is extended to 12.1 gigabyte. So it is, which is more than 100 times more than this, and dramatic decline in price. And it is a price wise, it is very cheaper compared to other data warehousing tools in terms of hardware. And coming to the software components, it has a capability for the row store and column store. By default, the column store is selected. If you want to change to row store, so in which scenarios you can select the row store is if your data volume is lesser. In such cases, you can go for the row store. And compression techniques and partition and no aggregates. That means aggregation is not required in the column store indexes in the HANA database. That the reason is already data is compressed and partitioning is happened. Partition means instead of having the 10 years of data, it will do the components, small components, like 2 years of data, one component, and 2 years of data, one second component. Like that, it will distribute in the 5 components, so that you can access the data whichever you required in a faster way. Let's say an example. I have already given you. I have 5 years of data in my database. I don't want all the years of data. I'm looking for the current year of data, so that I will create a one partition. I will create a 5 partition, so that I can have the current partition is a P5. Let's say example, 2022 is a one partition. So my requirement is whenever I want to read the data from only partition 2022. I don't want to read the data from all the partition. However, if you want to access for all the data, you can have the provision. You can access the data. And it is a hybrid memory, like hybrid approach of the database. It is in-memory capabilities, and it has a row store and column store. While it is storing the data, and it is a massively parallel process where you can access the data from multiple sources and multiple jobs at a time. And calculation here engine where you can perform any kind of calculations in the database level itself. Generally, so if you do what is the difference? Like if you can have the calculation engine the database level, the major advantage is while you are trying to implement a logic, if you implement the logic at the database level itself, the data reading and loading both will be very faster. Generally, what happens at the application level, we write the data, like we go for the design, and data will be resides in the backend of the database. The database can be a HANA database or non-HANA database. So what happens? You are writing the data or all the logics in the HANA database, sorry, application level. So what happens every time the data will be going to the back to the database and check the statement. Let's say an example, you are telling that I have the company code Australia. I want to read the data from the Australia company code. It will go to the database and it will call the Australia company code, and it will do the data manipulation, and it will present in the report output. But if you have the calculation engine within the database, you can write directly code in the database level. I want to fetch the data from the Australia company code. So that Australia company code and whatever the business rules are there, you can define at the database level, so that it will directly access the data from the HANA database to your reporting tool. That is the way. That is the very beautiful thing in the HANA database, which is not at all possible in other database like databases. And it is a delta match. We discussed initially data will be stored in the main memory. So delta memory, from that it will store in the main memory. So once it is stored in the main memory, the delta memory data will be erased. So like that, whenever there is a posting happen, initially the data will be resides in the delta memory. From that, it through delta match, the data will be posted to main memory. So that is the trend will happen every time posting happen from the source level. And it is a high level HANA architecture. HANA can be connected with the SAP application, non-SAP application. It has a capability for the connection with the SAP BODS systems, as well as access the real-time data replication methods. And within the HANA, we have the calculation engine, roster and column store, as it's and also in-memory capabilities. And from HANA, we can access the data to external system. That means we are trying to getting the data from the one system, and we are doing manipulation into the HANA database, and we are producing the data to other tools. Other tools here, you can consider that whether it can be SAP application or non-SAP application. If you consider SAP application, it is a SAP Business Objects, which is one of the reporting tool. If you consider other reporting tools, like maybe Tableau, or maybe it's a other system, maybe Power BI, something like we are transferring the data to other system too. So like that, it is providing the intermediate where you can perform the all kind of real-time postings and data manipulations, data cleaning, data consolidation you can do in the HANA database itself. Now coming to today's section, I think we have already almost covered. So are you fine now? So yesterday and day before yesterday we have discussed. So I have just refined here. So do you have any doubts? At least one person I can answer.
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Coming to this, this is for the SAP HANA latest use cases. That means in which industries they are using. What is the significance for the SAP HANA? That means why we have to go for SAP HANA. SAP HANA, everyone is saying the data accessing is faster. So do I need to migrate only for the data accessing to HANA? No. There is a number of features for the SAP HANA also. Those things we are discussing in detail now. Okay. See, generally, you may yesterday and day before today, till now we discussed about the data accessing. Only because of the data accessing, can I go for the higher cost? No, it's not that. There is an inbuilt, there is none of features are there. Those things we are discussing now. Okay, coming to the first sector is the aerospace and defense. Why SAP HANA is using in the aerospace and defense technologies is it is trying to gather the information from the varieties of sectors and going for the creation of the 3D models as per their requirement. So along with that, they have the capabilities for the analysis and reporting. Okay, so coming to this aerospace, like why they are going for the SAP HANA is the major thing is they have the designs, they gather the required information from the varieties of sectors, and they create the models in the three-dimensional ways. Along with that, like as I said, you can perform the data processing as well as analysis and reporting. And agribusinesses. Why agribusinesses is still using the HANA? Since it is expensive, so it is using it is providing the information of processing and analysis of the analysis of the data. That means generally when you go for the fertilization, so it will indicate that okay, when you started the seed the plants, so okay, this is the time we started seeding. So the fertilization will be happen, okay, within the 30 days or 15 days we have to go for the fertilization. Those kind of information it will be providing in the real time approaches. And automatic industries, automatic industries means it is useful to try to understand that customer information, based on the customer information, what is the market trends. Let's say an example. Now if we have the car industries are there, so if you consider as a common man, we have a number of cars are available, out of which so customer is looking for, maybe customer is looking for the safety, or customer is looking for the mileage, or customer is looking for the comfort. So if we consider, or as well as my money, so generally as a common customer they look for these four things, four or five things, so out of which majority of the customer they are looking for. If you consider that before 2018 or 17, everyone looking for the mileage, but now they are looking for the safety as well as comfort. That is, the trend is customer trend is changed. Based on that, SAP HANA has designed such a way that it can switch to current trend as well. Generally, if you want to do the same kind of a design in the non-HANA databases or any other particular databases, it is very difficult to migrate from the older to newer technologies, new trends. Whereas SAP HANA is a very flexible to migrate the new trends as per the customer requirement. That is the reason automobile industries also they are looking for the customer, SAP HANA. Banking services. Coming to that, in the banking services, generally we have the number of operations are available in the banking sectors to handle that, as well as to handle the data transactions. If you consider that being a one customer, I have I have one account in a, let's say example, one of the bank. So monthly wise I can do 20 transactions. If you imagine like yearly wise, I may have the 200 or 300 transactions. Like that, each bank can have the n number of customers and can perform the millions of transactions in such a way that it is very difficult to handle the customer relevant information. So for that also they are using for the SAP HANA system. So coming to that, manufacturing sector, manufacturing sector. One second. Yeah, in the manufacturing sector, they generally they use for the manage the data as well as analyze the data in terms of the entire manufacturing industries. That means when you go for the product design and product execution and product supply and supply, so those are the things we can it will be included in the manufacturing sector. And coming to the consumer products, consumer products is like here we deal with the analyze and predictive for the customer level customer preferences. That means so now again, if you go for the my consumer products, like we have the number of consumer products are there. So my customer preferences is always changes based on the requirement. That's an example. If you are looking for the any mobile accessories, okay, mobile sorry, not mobile accessories, or if you're looking for the mobile, so my preferences is always changing, because again the same example I will go. If you go for the 15 years ago, my mobile requirement is to make a call, but if you see that my now mobile is a part of life, without mobile we cannot stay, because all these things, like even I can attend the meetings over the phone, and I can start working with the over phone with suppose if I have the SAP cloud link cloud software. If you are working by using the SAP link, you can access through your mobiles. So that the customer preference is always changing. So consider all these things, SAP HANA is very suitable for the businesses. That is also one of the reason why consumer products they are using for the SAP HANA. And coming to the engineering and constructions and operations. So generally they go for the calculation designs. That means what are the designs they have do that, like they will go for the again recalculation for the design based on the business trends. And along with that, there is a features so they're looking for the any emerging technology. That means what are the latest trend technologies with real-time access. So in such cases they go for the SAP HANA for the automobile engineering and construction operations. And coming to the food and drug productions, in the food and drug productions, majorly they are going for the merchandise business, like management. Like merchandise business management means like, so generally what food and products, like they go for the quality of the food and quantity of the food, as well as other sectors of the foods. Like generally, if you are in the country of India, you are looking for the food items is like, biryani and rice products or roti products. But if you say that if you're staying in the US or UK, they are looking for the products is burgers, pizza, and pasta, like that. So that means it is very based on the location to location. Those kind of capabilities they go for the food, and that is also one of the reason they migrated for the SAP HANA. That means if when you travel in the airlines, the food is changing based on their region, or like, based on their background. And coming to the healthcare sectors, uh, it is like this is healthcare is like, it's keep on changing the medicines and also healthcare sectors. And also it is basically to track this patient details, and also mostly they are using for the any kind of abnormal conditions in terms of the patient and any hospitalization, so that it is very easy to track that. And higher education and research things, for majorly they are this is why they are looking for HANA. So since it is a educational industries, so that educational institutes still they are looking for the HANA, yes, because they want to analyze the students information, and accordingly they want to process the data. Because why they are looking for the students information, generally if suppose one of the person joined as a topper in the batch, so for that, like, I want to calculate whether he is a person is motivated recently, or like, from the starting onwards he is coming as a good rank. So I want to know that person details. So the further things, like, in ancient days what happens, the person we have to go for the certification, we have to go from starting onwards, from plus 2 or 10th class, or like, engineering. And also if he is doing like, ISP in MBA, so we want to track everything. But now if everything is upgraded in the HANA, so everything, all the details are stored in the database, so that it is very easy to capture the details. Along with that, I can go for the analysis. That is analysis means, so now he is a topper, so we can so in my university, like 10 companies are coming, so we will choose him for the best topper, like best company which is giving the high paid salary, so that it will helpful for me to analyze customer information. Based on that, I can select him whether he is suitable for the top paid industry or not. So that is also one of the major way SAP also is needed, because it is very like, detailed level of information it can provide, as well as it can show the data in a faster way. And coming to the oil and gases industries, and why it is required. So generally it is required to use for the optimize the operational performance, and minimize the business downfalls. So that means like, some of the seasons business will be downfall. So in such cases, generally what happens, especially in our Andhra and Telangana, during the July month we called as a Ashada Masam. So during the month, like, our clothes sales are like, very low. In such case, what they will do is they will give the discount. KG sales are like, 1+1 offers, so to increase the sales. So for this kind of a plannings and forecasting, so SAP HANA is useful for that. So I'm just telling you an example. Okay, but don't compare with that example in the oil and gases. Just I'm telling you an example. So this is the latest use cases for the SAP HANA. Any doubts? Yeah, and it is important, but it may be little confusing for you. It is called as a code push down. What it is a code push down? Code push down is when you're trying to apply. So if you try to understand, we have the application and backend is HANA database. Code push down is we are directly writing the code in the HANA database. We are not using the application at all here. My application, so that means all the designs and all the logics I can directly do in the HANA database itself, until unless it is a very complex. That means I may have the application. Maybe my application may be SAP ABAP. My application may be SAP BW. My application may be SAP ABAP. Sorry, BBC. So, however, I don't want to use those applications. I want to use all the designs, business designs. I can directly do in the HANA database in such a way that the data reading and loading performance will be very faster, because all the data logics, business rules, everything you are defining in the database level itself. And if you can see here, if you can see this, this is a slide. If we in a very simple, there is a calculation engine will be there directly. The calculation engine we are doing in the HANA database level, because my application is ABAP, but however I am trying to write the code in the SAP HANA database. Let me go into detail. So actually there are two ways of code push down approach is there. One is a top down and second one is a bottom up approach. So coming to that in the top approach, okay, that means I have the serious views are there. So that the code, whatever it is there, that will be reading from the HANA views. And I have the AMDP scripts are there, that is ABAP managed stored processor, which is a script. This is also script, okay. So those things directly will be stored in the stored processes of the SAP HANA application. That means whatever it is a front end, like see my serious views is in front end, and as well as my AMDP script is in a front end, but data will be resides in the HANA views as well as stored procedures. So whenever I want to read the data directly, I can go for the HANA views. From that, my CDS views, through CDS views, I can replicate the data to my reporting tool or like my third-party systems. So for this, what are the applications? What are the code push down possibilities we can use that? One is the advanced OpenSQL. That means by using the OpenSQL, we can. That is here the way of writing the code I'm saying you. It is not a SQL, means it is not a SQL database. Okay, advanced OpenSQL, you can go for the top-down approach, and advanced review building. This is called as a core data services. So those things also you can go for the top-down approach, and above MDP scripts that also you can use. But what is the prerequisite to use this top-down approach? Your NetWeaver support package should be 7.4. That is, your SAP version should be NetWeaver version is 7.4, and support package, SP means support package, NW means NetWeaver. So my NetWeaver is SAP NetWeaver is 7.4 4.0, and my service pack is service pack 05. Above onwards, service pack 05 or above can use for the top-down approach. And bottom-up approach is from the HANA views I can use for the external views, as well as from the store processes I can transfer the data to the, that means all the that is my business logic is resides here. From that through store processor data can be accessed. So here what are the things I can use? I can use attributes views, analytical views, calculation views. So calculation view also can be defined in the scripting based calculation view or graphical based calculation view. So in which versions we can use for the bottom up approaches? My SAP version is less down below the 7.0. 7.4.0. My service packs is 0.5. So then only you have an option to use for the bottom up approach. And one more thing. So you may ask me the question: in which method we are going to cover in our course content? So mostly we will try to cover in the top-down approach, which is we are discussing about the serious views. The course content is very important for the serious view. And I think Lata has asked recently one question to me. So can I go for, so what is the difference for the SAP FI and SAP S4HANA? So my FI, each application, whether it is a FI or MM or ST, each application data will be stored in the some tables of the database. Those tables we can write a logic in the serious views. Okay, that means if we consider FI application is there, like say FIGL Flexa table is there, BSEC table is there, MSEC table is there. Those are the FI relevant tables. So those data level, that is database, that table level information, I can write the logics in the serious views, that is core data services here. So as well as I can write the logics in the MTP scripts. So what I'm trying to say here is, in this top-down approaches, I can write the logics at the table level itself. That means my table, I can design. Say an example, there is a sales order, one table is there. Sales item is a one table is there. What it is doing, that sales order header, it will show the detail level of information. That means I can say Ramesh is a person. He bought 10 products from me. and the product value is $10,000. Okay, it is a high level information. Whereas the item level information, low level information is, this is a Ramesh is a customer. He bought 10 products. Okay, product one is a laptop, product two is a mouse, product three is a hard disk, product four is a keypad, product five is a laptop bag. That is a difference in terms of the same product. Maybe it is the same product, or maybe it is a different products. Like that, it is distributing with the all the product. It will show the all the detail level of information of the particular products. So this is called as item level information. My requirement is to get the data from the both header table as well as item table in such a way that the best way is to go for the CDS view. And this is a fit for the top down approach. And you may have the same question. If I have the same requirement for the sales header and sales item, can I go for the calculation views or analytical views? Yes, in the bottom up approach also you can go for that. It doesn't have any issues. But what is the difference here is, suppose if you have the latest version of SAP HANA, you cannot access for the bottom up approach. One scenario. Second scenario is, if you want to provide if you want to access for the real time data, or if you want to go for the forecasting the data, in such cases it is not suitable for your requirement. So in such cases, definitely you should go for the top down approach. See, whatever you are seeing in the slides, so maybe you are not seeing the slides in forward classes, but definitely you should relate, or you should connect with these slides, two slides. Without this, we cannot move forward, because the course content is, majority of the course content is deals with the CDS, which is latest technology. And this is a calculation which is also older. It is older, even though it's older, but most of the designs, if you can see in the support, you can see most of the things is developed in the calculation views. CDS views is recently started. Maybe last 1 year onwards, it is growing very faster. Whereas this calculation views you can see in the recent older developments also. So these two slides are very, very important to understand the business trends. That means in the bottom up approach, all the logics will be defined in the HANA itself. Whereas in the bottom up top down approach, all the logics will be defined in the CDS views. So what is the difference here? See, so if I write the logic in the HANA, SAP HANA, or if I write the logics in the CDS view, what is the difference here is, see, in the CDS views, I have the flexibility. I can write whatever customer is looking. I can define whatever the customer is looking. And I can generate a report also once the data is extracted. Those flexibilities we have in the CDS views are top-down approach, whereas it has a limitation in the HANA database. So in HANA database is a very limited. Even if you want to change small things, you have to write a huge data code. So that is one of the difference in the bottom-up approach and top-down approaches. Any questions?
Sir, top to
Yeah,
bottom
please.
lo AS, AB, AP and full meaning ఏం సార్ అక్కడ? టాప్ డౌన్ ఉంది కదా సార్, ఇప్పుడు దాని కింద డయాగ్రామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఏఎస్, ఏబి, ఏపీ అంటే ఫుల్ మీనింగ్స్. ఇక్కడ ఎల్ఎం
No. See, above. It is advanced business application programming. Okay. I managed to store processor, that is called as a completely MDP scripts, and it is for the core data services, and this is for the standard above transport. That is this is called as a transport mechanism. That means these things I will explain you. I will show you what is the transport mechanisms. I can help you know. Okay, spare with me for 10 to 15 minutes. In the subsequent slides, I have included this also. So here, this component we are discussing, CDS views are above MDP scripts. We are defining it how we are trying to achieve the data from the source. Like as I said, header data, item data. How can we access? And based on my requirement, how can we achieve? Like say an example, I want to see the customer detail level of information. So this is my requirement. I can go for the CDS views. I can constrain based on the requirement. That requirement, they can have the discounts, and they can get the profits also. Those kind of a customization we have to do in the CDS views. Generally, the table level customization we don't do that, but in the application level, that is application level means in the CDS views and the MDP scripts, you can write the customization logics based on the requirement. Is it fine now?
Thank you, sir.
Any questions? Yeah, it's a good question. So it's a very important too. Okay, this we cannot escape these topics.
Sir, SAP server
Yeah,
or
sorry.
applications. SAP ana server లేకపోతే applications sir అది.
Someone is speaking actually. Your voice is breaking. SAP HANA server. Yeah.
Server లేకపోతే applications sir ఇది. SAP HANA S4 HANA.
Okay. So I think I have already explained you one diagram yesterday. What is it? R3 structure and ICC and S4 HANA. So you might have either server or you might have the database within it. If you have the server wherever you have the connection, you can work. Or if you have the database with you, you can work with the SAP system. That is up to you. Generally, we all these things will be server based only, because none of the customer giving to you one resource or two resources. That is the one of the reason. So all these things should be connected to the server. Even though it's a database, that should be connected to the servers. But however, data will be stored in the database itself. Yeah, my answer to your question.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. So coming to this, now it is also like these are you are close to the SAP environment now. Now here I'm describing about the types of projects. So it may be SAP HANA or S4 HANA or SAP ABAP or whatever it is. This is a fixed for all the projects. Okay. So whatever the project you consider, you may be working in the out of 5 one or two at least. So that means you may work with the implementation project or development project, or maybe you are working with the support and maintenance. That is, this is called also support and maintenance project. Someone is called as the AMS, application maintenance support, and rollout project, and upgradation project or migration project. Upgradation and migration, not R. Okay, both are different. As well as implementation is different and development is different, and enhancement project. Okay, coming to the implementation. So I'm talking about the implementation, not development project. Okay, when you talk about the implementation, you don't have the anything with your hand. So you have to start. Suppose my requirement, I want to design a software for the Sure Trust. Okay, so this is what actually your requirement. So what Radha Kumari madam suggested you. Okay, I have the number of students. I want to track the students' information. Okay, at what time they have logged in and at what time they have like log off, and how much duration they spend with the system, with the training. So along with that, there are a number of features they wanted to add in a database. So that means if I call Ramesh, so we can see that okay, totally how many hours he spent. Out of 100 hours, he is actively available 70 hours. That is where they want to track. So in such cases, they need a detail level of information from scratch to end. That means you have to configure the system. First of all, you have to approach the base system and security team to configure the lab design in the required system in your local machine or over the cloud. And second thing is you have to go for the which module it is suitable for you. Let's say an example, when you go for the salaries, I will go for this HR module. If I go for the profit and loss, I will go for the finance model. If it is invoice relevant, I will go for the sales and distribution. Or if it is going for the plant storage location, then I will go for the plant maintenance. That is the way I can differentiate which model the requirement suits. Maybe it is coming from the requirement should come maybe coming from the different modules. In such cases, I can select for the different modules also. So that is a way, initially we started with the empty hand. We are trying to getting all the required information. Then slowly we starting working on this. So that is what actually we have given in the 5 steps here. One is the project preparation. In the project preparation is we will go with the what is the required information in terms of hardware, in terms of the software, as well as in terms of the functional models, in what is the pre-activities and post-activities. So this is called as the entire things we can consider as a project plan. And also for this, how many resources are needed. Suppose I have a requirement to implement a salary perspective. In such case, I may go for the 4 employees. So like that, we will go for the detail level of plan. What is the time duration? First of all, I'll go for the time duration. My project, implementation project, suppose they have given for 6 months. Out of 6 months, like, my preparation will take 1 month, and maybe my business blueprint and will take, like, 1 more month. Realization or implementation will take, like, 2 months, and final preparation will take the 1 month, and go live will take the 1 month. So that is our plan. We will go for that. And this is what actually everything should be available in the project preparation. Once the project is prepared, we will go to the customer. Okay, this is what actually you are looking. Okay, you are looking for the student rest. You are looking for the student detailed information. Okay, so this is what actually we are getting the information from the different functional models. Or we have to go for the customization. For the customization, we may need this many hours or this many resources. So for that, we are charging this much amount. Along with that, there is a representation of the output is like showing like this. That is what actually we will say as the blueprint. Suppose something is not feasible as per the requirement, then we will suggest, okay, there is an alternative way where we can achieve this your requirement. So those things we can inform to the users. That is users means here true trust management. And coming to the realization or development. So that means you have you got the approval from the users. Go ahead for the start the development. You have the blueprint is there with you. Based on the blueprint, we are going for the TS and FS. That is called as technical specification and functional specification. First FS will be coming. Second technical specification will be done. That means FS means once you decided for the which application is suitable, what is the source element, tables are suitable for your requirement, then you will go for the technical specification. So once you have the technical specification, then you can start working on these things. So then final preparation is there. Once your design is done, so then you can ask user, okay, so user, we have done the design, so can you please validate from your end? Once user is confirming everything looks good, or maybe if they come up with something, so we can change the plan accordingly. So once user is giving the sign off, then we can plan for the go live phase. Go live and support. Go live means we are directly moving the objects to the production, and we will validate or we will monitor for the some days. This is called as a complete implementation structure, not development. Again, I'm saying you, not development. It is a complete implementation. Coming to the development. Development means the project is already implemented. Maybe some piece of code they want to redesign, or they want to design new design. In such cases, I don't go for the project preparation. Okay, project preparation means here I will give a just like estimation, how many hours and how many resources and what is the duration. So those things I can provide in the project preparation. But blueprint, I will go for the same approach. Like, I will show all the detail level of information. Anything which is not feasible, those information we can mention that. And realization fees and final go live, final preparation and go live, it's remain the same. Okay. And coming to the second project is support and maintenance. Support and maintenance means already project is implemented. So generally what happens, project implementation team is different and support team will be different. Maybe they are coming from the different vendors too. Okay, because support is very sensitive in terms of accessing the data. For that, maybe they have the restricted ODSs are there, or they don't allow some of the ODs, they don't allow mobiles also. Maybe they are using for the oil and gases, or like, banking sectors, they don't allow mobiles also for the ODCs if it is, say, support and maintenance. So what the majority of roles will be performed, the support and maintenance is, we have to understand the issues, like when the loads are happening, when data is not reflecting in the reporting level, we have to understand where is an issue. If anything errors occur, we have to go for the resolution. Coming to the provider, it is like, we should be part of the month-end activities in the year, like, year-end activities or quarter-end activities. That means every month end, like, we are not supposed to do the transport movement, because month-end generally financial loads. That means every month end, what they will do is they will run the especially finance load very fast. Posting the data from the source is very huge. So because they will load all the month data at a time in the background of the tables. So that is the reason they go for the month end activities period, like month end or period and both are same. Month end activities are quarter end activities or year end activities. Those things we should be responsible, and we have to. If any configurations are there, so we should align with the base system and get the configured. And majorly we will work with the ticket based support or production support. Production support means we should be available 24/7. Whenever there is an issue, we should work accordingly. So this is support project. And coming to the rollout project, that means your project, you have already implemented a project, and that so as of now the project is for the US and UK. They want to go for the China also. In such cases, the same project is there, same data flows are there. In such cases, I can go for the rollout project. That is, rollout project is the same design will be there. Just we are trying to copy the structures. So with the different countries, that's it. The efforts here is very less compared to implementation and development projects. And maybe the rollouts will be defined in the two ways. One is a country rollout or company code rollout. That means maybe one country I can use for the two company codes. Maybe I have the different countries where I can go for the different rollout projects. And coming to the upgradation project and migration project, it is very important, and it is very difficult to find you in the Google also. Listen to me very carefully. What is upgrade project? What is a migration project? When you talk about the upgrade project, I have the older version of the SAP HANA system, like I have the 1.0 version is there. When I go for the 2.0, that is called as upgradation project. That means my database is remain the same. However, version will be changed. Migration project is using for the Oracle database for SAP ECC system. Now I'm going for the same SAP ECC front end. I'm not talking about the front end. Even if you want to change front end, that is also fine. But my front end application is SAP ECC, but whereas my back end is now it is migrated to HANA. That is called as a migration. That means whenever you see the database level changes, that is called the migration projects. Whenever the database is same, but however the upgrade is happening, that means the versions is changing. In such cases, that is called as a upgrade projects. And upgrade projects, there are number of activities will be there. Upgrade and migrate projects, there are number of activities we have to perform. That means you have 100 tables before upgrade or before migrate. Once it is upgraded or once it is migrated, maybe you have the 90 tables. The reason should be there are some tables will be decommissioned. That means the tables are not at all useful for the latest version of the object system. So that is the reason, like we should be very cautious while you are working with the upgrade or migration project. It is not so complex, but we should capture small things also here. Finally, enhancement project. Enhancement project means, let's say an example, I have a report where I can get the plant information, country information, and also location and company information. All this information is there. But my report, I want to see a list of the customer also. That means I'm going to add few more fields in the existing structure. In such cases, that is called as an enhancement project. That means we are trying to change the structure, whatever it is existing. So that is called as an enhancement project. Do you have any doubts?
No doubt, sir.
Sir, I have a one doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, first of all, in implementation lo blueprint ni where you develop చేస్తారు sir blueprint ni?
Blueprint, there is a person called SME, that is subject matter expert. They will do that. Being a technical consultant, what is our role is we are part of the realization phase and final preparation and go live. In the blueprint, yeah, tell me.
Work చేయాలంటే only one implementation or support, any one of them we will work, sir?
See, it is not like that. So you may get an opportunity to work in the implementation or the support or maybe rollout project. That is not fixed actually. We don't know what requirement you will get. Okay. That is all depends on requirement. And coming to the question, let me elaborate in a way. Some of the tasks like FS and TS, like functional specification and technical specification, will be done in the business blueprint. So in the business blueprint means SMEs are the subject matter expert is there. He will give a high level information to the business. Okay. Here in the realization part, based on the blueprint, we will start for the development. And for me, if you ask me, we try to cover in the implementation, development, and support and maintenance, and also enhancement we will cover, and rollout also we will cover. But we cannot cover in the upgrade projects because whatever the servers they are providing, we may not ask for the older version to latest version support, because as of now I have seen HANA 1.0 and 2.0 only. If it is 3.0, then we can ask for that. But here you try to understand that the older version should be you should be working with the older version. Now, then only you try to migrate with the latest version. Then only you can understand what is happening, what should be considered. Otherwise, if you are working with the older version one system and at the other laptop you are working with the latest version, you don't see the you may see the differences, what is the older and what is the latest, but you don't know what is actual issues will rise. Generally, when upgrade is happening, as I said, out of 100 tables, 90 tables are available, whereas 10 tables are decommissioned. So when you come to know, when you go for the pre and post text, then only you'll come to know. That means before doing the upgrade, you have considered that 100 tables are exist in the system. After upgrade, you see that 90 tables are exit. So that means there is a lot of difference here before and after upgrades. Okay, upgrades are migrate. So those things when you try to capture is when you work in the two systems at a time. Okay, because I covered all the projects here. Okay, that is the reason I'm saying you. I'm insisting you 2 times. The reason is when you see the system, you may feel the differences, but actual difference when you see here is when you work in the same time, older version system, the same thing you try to upgrade in the latest version. Then only you can see the differences. Fourth option is when you work in the system, then only you will understand. And 1, 2, 3, 5, you can understand during the course itself. Is it fine?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay, thank you. And coming to the system landscape, okay. Generally, what happens? So not generally, we'll go with S4 HANA system landscape. Then I will elaborate it. We have 2 varieties of the system landscape. One is a 2 system landscape. Second one is a 3 system landscape. In the 2 system landscape, you can develop and you can design. That is, you can design, you can develop, and you can testing. Everything will be done in the single system. That is a quality system. And whereas in the production system, it will move the changes to production. You can do the validation. You can perform the testing. What is the difference between the quality system and production system is, in the production system, you cannot design. That means you cannot create any of the object. Whereas in the quality system, in this here, try to understand in this context only I'm saying you. But I have not seen any of the system working with the 2 landscape. But I have seen my colleagues and my other friends SAP system, they have the 2 systems only, quality system and production system. But in real-time system, we have the 3 system landscape. What are those? We have the development system is there. We have the test system, that is quality system is there. Production system is there. It is very important. You just close here. You just closely understand here. That means all customization, all development I can do in the development system. Whenever I export here, from here, it will move to so it will be available in the different environment. That is called as a transport mechanism. You might see here in the slide I told you. This is a transport container and transport mechanism. So that means you have created a one CDS view here. So that CDS view you are exporting into the transport mechanism. Once you have exported transport mechanism, so what you are saying is this is available. The CDS view is available in the transport mechanism, and now we are trying to import into the quality system. Whenever you are importing into quality system without creation by you, the objects, suppose you are created a sales order table. The sales order automatically exists in the test system, that is quality system. Here, what you will do here, you do the validation. This is called as object validation and testing. Once you perform the object validation and testing data postings, then you can ask user, okay, user, I have done the design and testing and data loading. Can you please validate it from your end? That is called as a UAT, user acceptance test. Once you hand out to the UAT, upon their confirmation, you will have to move the changes to production. In the production, you just do the same kind of activities, whatever you do in the test, the same thing. You are doing the object validation. Okay, whether the object, whatever it is there in the development, it is there. It is the same thing in the production also there. You will validate that, and you will do the testing, and you can do the data loading also. Those things will be done in this three landscape. There is development and quality and production. There is one more system called as a development, quality or test system, or pre-production system and production system. So generally these kind of systems will be useful for the banking sectors and like ONGC sectors, that is oil and gas sectors, because there is data is very crucial. And for why, what they will do is, what is the crucial means, whatever data is the production system, they will copy in the pre-production system. So that is the reason data is very crucial. They so whenever suppose they lost something, their system is crashed, in the production system is crashed, so that they can bring the data from the pre-production system. Some of the resources for some of the users, what they will do is they will copy the data from the production to test system, but it is not at all best advice to do that. The reason is, in the test system, that is not required to activate all the objects. Some of the objects may be inactive. Those things also will have effect. But whereas in the pre-production system, it is just like a replica of the production system. The structures and tables and data is similar to the production system. So that is a good for the data validation and data restore if you lost any data in the production. Any doubts? Any doubts? It's very important. Yeah, please.
Only changes in development or testing. There is no changes in production, sir. Any product does not change.
I will answer to your question. Okay. Yeah, I hope you would see my Excel sheet. Okay, consider it is a development system. Okay, and it's a quality system, and it's a production. Okay. Suppose I have created a sales order. Consider one scenario, you don't have any sales order in production. First scenario, I will go with the two scenarios. Okay. So sales order has a 10 fields. Imagine 10 fields are there. Okay. So we don't have any sales order in the quality, and we don't have any sales order in the production also. Now at the first instance, we are directly importing to the quality. And you can check, okay, in this sales order, in the development system, you have the 10 fields are there. Okay. The same 10 fields we are taking. Okay. Whether it is there in the quality or not. First validation is this. And because of this, whether it is active or not, this is called as a testing. Okay. Okay, sales order is active. Okay, everything looks good, and source has the 10 fields, and quality also has the 10 fields. The same thing I can perform the same thing in the production also. Okay, along with that data loading, data posting, I can say I can do. So all these things I can do in the production as well. Okay, so this is a one way of approach in the development system. Okay, consider that one of the user is asking, we have already 10 fields are there. Can you please add the customer information? That is customer number. Imagine customer number. This is called as an enhancement project. Okay. Row number 12, whatever I'm saying, enhancement. This is called as a development project. Okay. Now in the same sales order, I'm trying to add the customer number. Okay. First I'm adding a customer number. Okay. The same customer number I'm checking. Okay. So in the source, instead of 10 fields, it is 11 fields. The same 11 fields should be available in the quality system. Okay. If it is not there, if it is not the sync in the development and quality, there is a wrong in our development. Okay. So now again, you have to go for the production. It's 11 fields. So now to answer to your question, if you are changing existing structure in the development, the same thing you can move in the quality. That means the quality structure will change as well as production structure will change. Yes, suppose if you don't have anything in the development as far as quality and production, then you can create in the development, you can move to quality and production. Okay, do you have any questions still?
Okay.
So when you try to do that, it is called as export. When export means it is indication that you have an option to import into any other landscape system. That means here try to understand that my system is dev system. The system name is dev, and the system name is QA, and the system name is prod. I can move the dev to QA and QA to production. Suppose I have other system where BED, EQ, and PBD. Imagine this is other system. I cannot move this sales order to this system. It will, when you say export, it has a provision to import in your landscape. My landscape is this. Even though it's a 3 landscape, my systems is same. Development is dev is a development system, QA is a quality system, product is a production system. This way only I can move that. I cannot move the objects whatever I require. That means this sales order I cannot move to the okay. I cannot move to the BED systems or like EQ systems. I can move here in the development to quality. That's it. Any doubts?
No, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we are almost done. 1 second. I have one slide is pending. Yeah. Now last slide we are entering. Yeah. So manage your SAP S4 HANA cloud. Okay. What are the things you have to be considered? Suppose you are working as S4 HANA. What are the things you have to understand? Identity and access management. So for this, you have to reach the security team to get the access to for you as well as your business users, and license. So whatever the application you are accessing, that license you should have. And document and output management. Okay, what are the things you are looking as for an output control and output management and attachment services and manage documents and output system. This is what it is doing, this overview. So it has a provision where you can extract the data from the SAP S4 HANA to other systems and install additional softwares. If it is required, you have to install additional softwares. And process management, here you have to consider situation management, application log. This, whatever the process management is there, this will be considered with the basis team. And identify and access management will be considered with the security team. And system landscape. So here, as we said in example, your landscape is dev, QA, and prod. You have to move the objects in the same way. And analytics, here you have to perform the logics based on your requirement. So, and data management. So here you have to manage the data based on your requirement. Whether it can be whether it is a small volume of data or huge volume of data, or maybe it's a partition data. Those things you can handle here. And draft handling. Suppose you don't want to share the details to the user for some instance. So in such cases, we have to handle the data in a draft manner. And such configuration. That means if I want to try to search any of the objects, it has to provide the features for the cloud options. And you have, so message monitoring means, suppose if anything is you have selected a table in a wrong way, so those things it should indicate for you. And finally, it is a service interfaces and managing services for the SAP HANA cloud. SAP HANA cloud. So those things will be covered in the business event queues. So these have the probability for the read and write the options. So this is generally managing the things, like generally most of the cases like basis team and security team will handle here. And our part is in the analytics part, where you can understand the business logic, you can perform the accordingly. Yeah, do you have any questions? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's it for now. I'll share this PPT now itself. So you just go through that, and if at all, if you have any doubts, you just let me know. Second, where I can add attachments. Yeah, I will add attachments. Where I can share the document here. Whiteboard, manage recording, change layout. Shravan, can you please help me where I can share the documents? Okay, okay. Let me do now only. And but I'm using for the Shoe Trust family. So here I don't see attachment also. Only community admins can do. Yeah, I have already shared to G1 SAP HANA, right? Okay, I'm doing now only.